Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is my Louis Vuitton Artsy MM in the Monogram canvas. And I hope you guys are all staying cool today because where I live, it's supposed to reach a high of 113 if I'm not mistaken, and the air is on full blast, but it is so freaking hot, so make sure you guys keep cool. All right, so let's get started with the very first question, shall we? From Chelsea Conaway. Can you get items you bought on Fashion File repaired or serviced in Louis Vuitton and Chanel? I recently bought a Chanel flat from Fashion File and will possibly buy my next Louis Vuitton piece from there as well. However, I'm apprehensive because I don't know if I'll be able to get these bags repaired should anything happen to them. I know when I got my 6-ring key holder bought in store, repaired, they looked at my account and confirmed that I bought it there. Okay, so when it comes to Louis Vuitton, as long as it's not what's it called? The French company, Louis Vuittons that they had way back when, you should be fine as long as they have the materials. And as long as the bag is still in a repairable condition, it could be 15 years, it could be 20 years, but they will still replace it. However, when it comes to Chanel, I know that they recently kind of reinforced or kind of, you know, the whole thing with 5 years, you have 5 years to get anything repaired and you have to have all the documentation with it as well. But I did have one of my sales associates say that it is a case-by-case scenario. So just because they say that they're enforcing the 5-year rule doesn't necessarily mean that they might not fix it depending upon what you have. So, you know, I wouldn't go as far as saying Chanel would be, you know, definitely 100% you could be okay. But I know Louis Vuitton will. But, and actually, it did, that's another thing that I wanted to let you guys know. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you buy, let's say, a souvenir and you're in New York, and you go back home and you live in Florida, or you live wherever you live, and it needs to be repaired, it doesn't have to be repaired at the store that you bought the item from. So I just wanted to clarify that for you guys as well, just in case some of you didn't know. But unfortunately, I can't tell you with certainty that Chanel will be able to replace it or repair it if anything should happen. Okay. Nelly, what are your thoughts on the Yves Saint Laurent Collège bag? The Saint Laurent Collège bag, I really like it. I believe the medium retails for $24.50 here in the States, if I'm not mistaken. However, it is made out of supple grained lambskin, and I love the style of it. I love the design. I love the pockets that it has. However, I feel that because of the type of leather that it's made from, it will end up losing its shape. So personally, for me, it's not something that I would end up adding to my collection unless it was that really, you know, that thicker pebbled leather that they have. But everyone that has the Collège bag, they say that they love it. It's very, very comfortable, especially because of the leather that it's made out of, that some people can't even really feel it on them when they're wearing it. So it wouldn't work out for me, but I really, really like the style of it. And, you know, I just think I really like the design of it is the best part of it. But yeah, I think it's great, but unfortunately, it is not for me. Rabia Groff. I'm looking for a key holder / clay. I don't like the 6-ring key holders as I don't think they suit my lifestyle. I'm thinking about either getting the Empreinte clay in black or the normal clay in Monogram. Could you give me the pros and cons? I feel like the Empreinte is more versatile and I could not only use it for my keys but also as a purse when I don't want to use my Clemence wallet. But in the first place, I want something for my keys. Then there's the price difference between the two. I'm a student at university and I have just started getting into Louis Vuitton thanks to my boyfriend. What would you recommend? Oh, I almost forgot. I also am worried about wear and tear. Okay, so I brought them out so we have a little bit of eye candy today. So here I have the Empreinte clay in noir, and then I have the regular Monogram clay. Okay, so I am a huge fan of both. I personally love the Empreinte clay a lot more because I feel it has a little bit more versatility, even though they're both fantastic. I feel that I can use this as a wallet. It fits a little bit more in here versus this one. But if you are looking for something, as you stated, for your keys and taking into consideration the price difference, you cannot go wrong with the Monogram clay. As I've told you guys before, I've had this for a billion years, it seems like, and I still think it looks like it's in pretty good condition. And when you're worried about wear and tear, I haven't had any issues with the Empreinte leather. or anything like that. However, I have heard of some people saying they've had issues with the varnish cracking, but then again, I haven't had any issues there. But if you're worried about wear and tear, if you're worried about and you want something that's just kind of like a workhorse, you cannot go wrong with the canvas. There's no leather on here. It's just the cross grain leather inside, but you don't have any leather on the outside. You can literally have this in the rain. You could have it in the snow. You could have it all over the place and nothing will happen to it. So I would have to advise the Clay. Plus, it's a fantastic piece as you're starting your Louis Vuitton collection. And then as your collection continues to grow, you can go for the Empreinte Clay. But out of the two, even though I am a personal huge fan of the Empreinte, you cannot go wrong with the Monogram Clay. It's just fantastic. And it also has a great price point. So I would have to go for this one. And then later on, just go get the Empreinte one. But that's just my personal opinion. However, whatever makes your heart sing, that's what you want to go for. Okay. Amélie Jump, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm going to buy my first Louis Vuitton piece very soon. Ooh, how exciting. And I picked the Mini Pochette accessoire. I also plan to either buy a Neverfull MM or a Speedy 30 or 35 in Damier Ebene. I really don't know which one I should buy first because I really like the Neverfull, but I'm not sure about the lack of security. I also like the Speedy, but I'm not too sure about how or when I would use it. Is it heavy? One essay showed it to me a few weeks ago, but I didn't try it on. Also, what are your thoughts on the Clay over the Mini Pochette? Okay, these are great questions. Let's start with the very first one. So you're thinking about either the Neverfull MM or the Speedy, and you didn't. Okay, so I don't know if you're thinking about the classic or the bandolier, but regardless, I love the Speedy. There is something about the fantastic silhouette that it has. I'm just crazy about it. You know, it's one of my favorite all-time pieces from Louis Vuitton. However, having said that, there is definitely something about the Neverfull that just brings it to a whole nother level. It's very easy to carry, very easy to see everything at a glance, and it doesn't have too many bells and whistles. A few weeks ago, I did a Neverfull Is It Worth It video, and I'll make sure and link that down below. That way, if you're thinking about getting a Neverfull, maybe, you know, that video will help. But if you're worried about security, the sides on the Neverfull can be pushed in, so it has a little bit of a different structure to it, and it adds a little bit more security to it. But if you want even more security, you can always add a purse organizer with a zipper. So you have the pockets for organization, plus you have the added security of the zipper. So that's always another great option. And all your items are very nicely displayed versus just them having them, you know, in the open space of the Neverfull. So that's something that you can definitely do. Do I think that the Speedy is heavy? I don't think it's heavy, but you can definitely, I mean, as you're adding more items in there, it can definitely get heavy. It'll start to have that sag at the bottom. I personally like the sag. Some people don't. Some people use the base shaper for the Speedy so it doesn't have that sag. But, you know, if you're a little unsure already about how you would use the Speedy and, you know, if it's something that you would like in your collection or that would suit your lifestyle, I would definitely go for the Neverfull. I am, like I said before, a huge fan of the Neverfull. Okay, and then what are your thoughts on the Clay over the Mini Pochette? So I brought that out as well. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I also did a Is It Worth It video on the Mini Pochette. Let me know if you guys want me to continue doing Is It Worth It videos. I have a blast doing them, and I had someone ask me if there's something I don't recommend, and there are, but let me know if you guys want me to continue to do that. Okay, so between the two, this is a tough call because I think this is a fantastic piece, as I stated earlier in the video, why it's so fantastic, how it's so versatile. There's just so many different things that you can use it for. But the Mini Pochette, I am just crazy about as well. Oh man, I'm in quite a predicament, aren't I? It's a catch-all. There's just so much more you can fit in here. So you can use this as a little wallet. This fits inside here, depending upon the size of your phone. Obviously, we have discussed that my phone is ancient, so my phone fits in here with ease. You have a little bit more that you can do with this one versus this one. Even though it's versatile on its own, there's just a lot more that you can do to this. So it could be a catch-all, it can be a wallet, it can be a cosmetic pouch. There's more items that you can fit in here versus this. And I believe it's $110 difference between the two. So, would I pick the Clay over the Mini Pochette? Probably not. And Even though I know I am a huge fan of the clay, the mini pochette, I cannot imagine my collection without it. I even want to add the Damier one. I haven't really decided, but I highly, highly recommend this piece, and I think it's fantastic. So I think that answers the question. Do I recommend the clay over the mini pochette? No, I don't think so. Okay, Linsonosophy. What are your thoughts on the wear and tear and ease of repairability on the Damier Ebene versus Epi Leather in Noir? I am torn between the two materials and definitely want the longevity. Okay, so Damier Ebene is fantastic. Obviously, it is one of the most carefree canvas prints that the fashion house has. However, Epi Leather is also extremely carefree for the type of material. Okay, so what do I think about the wear and tear between the two? With Damier Ebene, as much as I appreciate it because it's very carefree, the leather that they have on the Damier Ebene pieces tends to, because it has the treated leather, it tends to have a little bit more wrinkling and it tends to be prone to peeling. I know a lot of people have said that sometimes on their Speedies underneath the handles, you know, where your hand goes, those tend to have a little bit of peeling on there, or just some pieces in general because of the extra coat that they put on top and because it's a treated leather. They tend to have a little bit more wear and tear issues with Damier Ebene. But when it comes to Epi Leather, I'd have to say, for it being number one, a leather, and because of the texture that it has, it is so incredibly fantastic when it comes to wear and tear. There are pieces that you can check out that have been around for 20 years that are vintage items and they still look fantastic. The only thing that comes to mind with Epi Leather is the fact that the texture that it has can tend to kind of flatten out over time, but not to the point where it's just, oh my goodness, so it's horrible, it's atrocious, blah, blah, blah. No, there's just... It is so incredibly wonderful. It doesn't show any wear and tear, not that I have come into contact with. If you guys know of any wear and tear issues with Epi Leather, let us know in the comment section down below. But I mean, I think it's fantastic. If you were to scratch the bag, because of the texture, again, that really helps out. And if you're worried about either one, if you're kind of thinking about going with Damier Ebene, obviously that's a canvas, so it's a little bit more lightweight versus the Epi Leather, which is all leather. So it's going to be a little bit heavier. But if you want something that is just incredibly durable, that you won't have any issues with, you don't have to worry about any chemical smells, as we discussed in the last Minks Monday, that some of the pieces have that, you know, that really strong smell because of the new solution that they put on top of the canvas pieces. I would definitely 100% recommend the Epi Leather. And I have had a few Epi pieces in my collection. I have yet to buy a bag of Epi, and I think a lot of people are turned off by it, maybe because of how the texture looks. But as far as durability, there is really nothing else that I can think of that is as durable, that would potentially beat out canvas than the Epi Leather. So I think it's fantastic, and they look great for, I mean, years, decades to come. So, you know, some Damier Ebene pieces still look great after some years, but again, they're always a little bit more prone to that wrinkling because of the color treated leather that they have. Okay, Cute Barbie 84. Can you please do an up-close shot of your Chanel GST leather straps? Does the leather soften up with use, and do you wear it on your shoulder or just hold it in your hand? What is your overall experience with this bag? So I brought it out so we can take a look. So here are my straps. When I first got this, I believe it was a little bit stiff, but it definitely softened up over time. And the way that I actually like to use my Chanel GST is I like to use it on my shoulder. Now, a lot of people don't like to use it on their shoulder because when you do that, it ends up getting a little bit smashed, and then you run the risk of having this start to sag a little bit more. And I think I'm starting to get, no, not really, maybe a little bit of a sag there, but I've had this bag for a very long time, and I've used it, I mean, I've always kind of just used it quite often, maybe not so much in the last 5 months because of other bags that I've been purchasing, but I prefer to use it on my shoulder. On the off chance that I need to carry it on the crook of my arm, I will. But as you can see, I haven't had any issues really with the sagging. I still think it looks like it's in great condition, considering this bag is prone to that sagging, those little indentations that they have. So here you can see the indentation a little bit better. But no, it definitely softens up over time. It still wasn't too stiff in the beginning. It was a little bit, but not to the point where it was uncomfortable or where it was digging into my shoulder. So that was fantastic. But overall, my experience on this bag, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. It will always be one of my favorites, and I think it will always stay in my collection because I just think I like totes. Even though I appreciate hobos and I appreciate other bags and classic flat bags, there is something about a tote that I just love because I can see everything at a glance, and that just suits my lifestyle. So huge fan of the GST, and I know that they have since introduced different styles to the fashion house to kind of replace the GST, but I don't think there's really anything like the Grand Shopping Tote from Chanel. But I love it. I love that bag. Okay, Betsy Aravi, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I want a new bag. Looking for a suggestion for a medium-sized Louis Vuitton bag. I have the Favorite, a Speedy, a Neverfull, and a Sienna MM. Looking to add another bag to my collection. It doesn't need to hold a ton, but I am flexible as it to be a shoulder or a top handle bag. Just wondering what your favorites might be. Okay, so I wrote down a few. So to add a little bit of a variety to your collection, the Sienna has versatility because of the crossbody. The Neverfull is on your shoulder. The Speedy, I don't know if it's a classic or if it's a bandolier, so you have a top handle, and the Favorite is another crossbody. There are some options that I really like. The Delightful, I'm a huge fan of the Delightful. The Totally, if you want something that's a tote, shoulder tote that has the zipper for security, it totally is great. The Delightful is just an open hobo, but it's very easy to carry, very lightweight. If you want another top handle bag, the Alma PM, it has a great silhouette. It actually fits quite a bit in there, or the Alma BB. I am loving the Alma BB in Damier Ebene. Oh my goodness, I've seen so many pictures on Instagram that I want to go check out that bag sooner than later. I'm just crazy about it. I don't know what it is, and the BB, even though it's small, it fits so much. So I think that's another great option. So it doesn't have to hold a ton, but it can if need be. Another bag that I don't think gets a lot of attention as I think it should, and I think that whether you get the BB, the PM, or the MM sizing, I think it's a fantastic, phenomenal bag, and that is the Saint Germain in the Empreinte leather. They recently came out with, earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, with a BB, and it is just so cute. The MM kind of reminds me of a jumbo. It has the same type of silhouette. If you get the PM, it's still very user-friendly. You can still carry quite a bit in there, or you can go a little bit more compact. Obviously, the BB kind of reminds me of a small or a square mini flap from Chanel, but they don't get a lot of love, and I think they're fantastic bags. The Empreinte leather is, amazing. It smells great. It wears great. But if you want something on the canvas side, then the Alma PM or the BB is one that I am very just crazy about right now. But if you want something a little bit, for your shoulder, then I would go for the Delightful or for the Totally. But either of those are the ones that I would end up choosing. Okay, Doc Luxury, my very good friend Doc Luxury, who also has a channel on YouTube. Make sure and check him out. He is fantastic. Talking about walks, would you ever use a wallet on chain as a wallet in one of your bigger bags? It seems it would add the versatility of a walk, but I've never heard of anyone using it for that purpose in reviews and whatnot. Okay, so would I ever use my wallet on chain as a wallet? No. I know actually quite a few people that actually end up carrying their wallet on chain inside their bigger bags for that sole reason, especially when they're traveling. But no, I personally wouldn't. Even though it is technically considered an SLG, I consider it a handbag. That's how I use it. I just really like how lightweight it is, and I can definitely appreciate the fact of carrying it inside of your bigger bag. So if you needed to transition very quickly, then you don't have to worry about going home or, you know, just having to go somewhere to have to, you know, switch out your items. You have everything with you. So I think that's fantastic. That's actually a great idea. But personally for me, no, it's not something that I would do. I just consider it a sole handbag on its own. But okay, next question from LV Lover London. I am thinking about adding the Hermes Clic H to my collection, but I am not sure if it is worth the money. It is around 500 British pounds. Do they easily scratch? XOXO. Okay, so the Clic H retails for 600 here in the States, and that's the skinnier one. And unfortunately, I don't have one of those to share with you guys, but I do have the Clac H, which retails for $660 here in the States. Okay, so is it worth it, and do they scratch easily? It all depends, to be honest. It is fashion jewelry. But the way that I think about it, it reminds me of a Chanel brooch. I am a sucker for Chanel brooches. I think I always will, especially because they're so sparkly and they're so fun, and they add a lot to any outfit that you have on. So I kind of feel the same way about this. You know, you have the gold hardware, you have the palladium hardware, but I really like them. Some people think they're gaudy, but I really like how simple they are. I like the fact that it doesn't have too many bells and whistles, you know. And one thing to note with the Clic Clacs is that they tend to have the most wear on the enamel here, so they will start to chip depending upon how hard you are on the bangle itself or on the bracelet. And a lot of people tend to have scratch marks on the H, but as you can see, I don't have any. This one still looks like it's in fantastic condition. And truth be told, I still have the little sticker on there. I need to take that off. I didn't even notice that till right now. But I haven't had any issues with this one. This one I did get pre-loved, and this one definitely has quite a bit of scratches that you can see on the inside. Check that out. So they do scratch quite easily, but they have those hairline scratches. So if you are someone that doesn't like scratches on any of your jewelry, whether it's what's it called, costume, or whether it is the finer jewelry, then I don't recommend a Clic H. But if you kind of have that in the back of your mind that it's going to scratch, then I would go for it. One thing to do, if you already know that these are prone to scratches, I would definitely look at the pre-loved market. You can get it at a better price. It already has the scratches, so you don't have to worry about it, and you can enjoy the item. But I really like them. You know, they're so easy to get on and off, and I like the fact, again, that they're not too fussy. They don't have too much going on, and I thought about adding a white and gold to my collection, which I really want, but I have not done that yet. But I really like them. I think they're fantastic, and you know, again, it all depends upon how you feel about costume jewelry and how it wears. One thing that I wanted to also say is that if you're the type of person that is a little bit harder on your watches, so if you notice that you have a lot of scratches on the bottom of your watches, then you will notice that you will get the same type of wear, the same type of scratches on your Clic H's. But as you can see, I don't have any wear marks on any of my watches. Even though I feel that I'm really rough on them, I don't have any wear marks. So I think that's probably why the gold one hasn't worn out. Or maybe it's because it has the plastic on there. I don't know. But regardless, even the plastic isn't scratched up. So I'm not too harsh on it. I'm not too hard on it. But if you are, then I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But I think they're fun, you know, especially if you get all the colors. My goodness, there's so many colors that you can choose from. Okay. And last question from Anna Rita Zuri. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. How do you usually polish your padlock? My daughter has a Speedy whose padlock is oxidizing. I wonder if you have any suggestions for cleaning. Okay, so this is a fantastic question. When it comes to Louis Vuitton padlocks, a lot of people tend to put, you know, solutions on there, cleaning agents and whatnot. I personally like to go a little bit more, you know, I guess you could say homemade, but you can absolutely 100% use ketchup. Because of the acidity in the ketchup, it ends up cleaning up the brass very beautifully on any of your Louis Vuitton pieces. I have done it for as long as I can remember, and it always works like a charm. And it's not very abrasive, so it won't damage the locks. It won't damage any of the brass. So what you do is, some people do it differently, but I like to put on a very thin layer of ketchup, leave it there for about an hour, 2 hours. You can leave it overnight, and then you just take a warm down cloth, and then you just kind of wipe it up, and then you just clean it thoroughly with warm water. But it works like a charm. Something else that people use is yogurt, if you wanted to do that. So if you didn't want something that's too abrasive, if you didn't want to use a really major cleaning product, then you can definitely use ketchup or yogurt. I think those are fantastic. Or vinegar and salt. You put a thin layer of white vinegar, and then you put salt on top of the, you sprinkle some salt on top of the vinegar, and then you just wipe it away as well. They work like a charm, but personally, I like the ketchup aspect. I've had the best luck with ketchup, but I would definitely try it out. Try it out in a little spot first if you're a little apprehensive about it, and then go from there. But as I said before, I haven't had any issues whatsoever, but that's what I would recommend. Okay, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A, but I do have a question for you guys. I planned on doing Minks Monday Q&A up to 100, but you guys let me know, should I continue? I know we discussed this last year and it was something that was brought up, but you know, I don't want to bore you guys. I love doing Minks Monday Q&As, and I love getting all the questions that you guys submit. So let me know, should I continue past 100? I mean, I really can't picture myself doing it to 300. My goodness, that would be, that's crazy, right? At least I feel that way anyways. But let me know your guys' suggestions, because again, I had thought about stopping at 100, but you know, I know a lot of you guys, from your wonderful words of encouragement, you guys tell me that you like Minks Monday Q&A. So let me know if I should continue going further until you guys finally say, stop, stop it. So let me know in the comments section down below if you would like me to continue these until you guys say, I'm done hearing you, I'm done everything about that. But I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. So again, that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help out. And again, stay cool, because I know I am starting to get really hot. As you can see, my face is probably starting to get a little bit more flush. But I look forward to seeing you guys possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I will see you guys on Wednesday. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.